cleaning liaison.
Welcome back, HAF Hour. We got Derek Clark on here of Fight League Atlantic. Stoked to have you, Derek.
Thank you, man.
This is awesome. We've been talking about it a while, so
it's been a while.
I'm pumped to make it happen.
Yes, thanks for having me, man.
No worries, man. You guys just had an event too, didn't you? And you got one coming up.
Yeah, so it gets a little confusing for people who are just kind of new to our brand, because we do both. We do grappling events and we also do large.
I was going to say, because I noticed the two different Instagrams.
Exactly. Yeah. So we're trying to branch out now. Originally, when we started in 2014, it was just grappling. So we used to do like submission only, heavy grappling events. Like we'd bring in UFC guys or girls and kind of compete like pro versus Joe, local versus big name.
Yeah.
Between you and I, it was boring.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And very hard to promote. The whole idea for me as a promoter is trying to get new people into the sport and build the sport that way. So I found it very difficult to do it that way. So as soon as we kind of branched into MMA and added a cage and added that element, things changed a lot for our business, and it became a little bit easier to sell what we were selling. And now we have the grappling in the cage.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
As well as the MMA. So it's two kind of brands working together, I guess.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And you guys did the last like big ones at the Coliseum, in Moncton.
Yeah,
that was cool.
It was, it was great. We had less than 400 people in a 10,000 seat venue. It was quite embarrassing, but it was a really tough time. Yeah, it was. Because we were scheduled here in New Glasgow in Nova Scotia on September 24th, I believe it was, last year, and then we got shut down 2 weeks before due to COVID, so we were forced to move to Moncton. We had to pick up and move everything within 2 weeks to a whole different province.
Crazy, man.
So
that's
and then
brutal,
of course,
man.
I think they weren't allowing like people to even leave their house at that point. Like you couldn't go in and out of Moncton, so people couldn't have turkey dinner with their family, but somehow we could have an
they could go watch it.
So people were pissed off. They didn't want to leave their house. So it was a hard event to sell, but we made it through, and with the
It's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's important.
Yeah. So and I guess before we get into that, you're from Pictou yourself.
Yeah, I am.
Awesome. And
born and bred.
You're freaking right. I was going to call you the Prince of Pictou, but I think last episode I called Jamie Dykins the Prince of Pictou. He's a skater down there. But awesome, man. And you fight yourself too?
No, I back in the day, yes, but strictly jiu-jitsu is my thing. I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu under Jared McIntosh, and I'm not like I said to Dave earlier. I lose a lot. I'm not really. For me, it's behind the scenes, I guess, is where I give back to the sport, and I admire anybody who can kind of get in there, man, women, what.
It scares the hell out of me, man.
Yeah, for me, I'm not like for me now, it's as a black belt, I'm going to work on my competing more and get better at competing, because I struggle at it, and that's something that I do want to grow and get better at. But it's hard. It's not an easy thing to go in there and challenge yourself and challenge somebody else and maybe lose, and everybody watching and stuff. But it's part of growing and getting better, right?
Yeah. No, definitely cool, man. Yeah. I actually wanted to ask you too, when you were in Pictou, where did you start training over there when you were younger?
I started training in Toronto, actually. I started in kickboxing. Kind of it's funny, a lot of people kind of do.
So kickboxing first, and then they kind of branch out into...
Yeah, I realized I really didn't like getting punched in the face. Or elbowed in the face. You know, like if we're here in Truro, if you've ever trained at Marmac and you've ever sparred with Mickey or any of those...
I've heard some stories.
It's not very fun at all. It's just not. So it's for me, like jiu-jitsu grew up playing sports my whole life, and I was always looking for that fix to stay somewhat healthy and active, but...
Fun way to do it.
Yeah, and that's what the beauty of grappling and jiu-jitsu is. You can go as hard as you want, and you do get hurt. There's you probably get hurt more in that sport than any other sport, to be truthful. It's hard on the body, but at the end of the day, it's just your brain. It's the big important thing, right? So I started in Toronto, and I would go into it was funny, I would go into this Peter Anthony. I don't know if you're familiar with Peter Anthony. He's a comedian.
Sounds familiar. I'm not sure yet.
He just did a show actually in Glasgow. He's from
cool.
Halifax, but anyway, so we were living together, and I went to this kickboxing class, and I started off, and I needed a hobby to do in Toronto, and I would go, and every day I would go, and for the first 2 weeks, and I would come back, and he'd say, "How was it?" And it was not bad, but this this guy kept staring at me.
Yeah.
He would stare at me from the corner of the gym. He'd just sit there like this with his fist and hit the pads as hard as he could. And I was green and new, and I was just like,
yeah, you looking at me for, man? I want none of that.
I don't know. I'm just from Pictou, man. I might, like, people like to fight there, but I'm not one of them, you know?
Yeah.
It was a scary introduction to martial arts for me at the beginning. I was just like, what does this guy kind of want from me, right? So that threw it off a little bit, and then once I moved back home, it was funny. I walked in here for the first time, actually.
Oh yeah.
And Dan Vanderlands. And
Dan! Shout out Dan. Dan's awesome.
Wonderful human being, man. Him and Mickey Marshall and Scotty Noss. They were all here, and they were guys that I kind of met right off the hop, and they introduced me to Jared in New Glasgow, where I'm from. And, and the rest is history.
There it is.
That was 2000 and what year is it now? That was 2008.
Oh shit, so you've been going quite a while now.
Long time.
That's awesome, man. Yeah.
Hard on the body.
Yeah, I friggin' bet, man. I always kind of wondered myself what kind of chin I'd have. I don't think, besides like hockey and stuff, I've never been socked in the face. So.
It's not, you know what? It's funny because I think everybody should be challenged that way. Not necessarily punched in the face, but maybe so, because I'm a strict believer in that, like, a quick slap in the mouth changes a lot of things.
Oh yeah, well you've seen the problem now. Everybody's so fucking entitled because nobody can get. There's no consequences for anything, man. Like back in the day, you just get socked. Just shut you up pretty quick.
That's it. Like, and the people, like, even traffic and stuff, like the people that are very arrogant, and it's like, you have no idea. And I'm not saying myself, like, people could have guns, they could have anything.
Oh, 100%, man.
Doing? Like, be a little bit more cautious of how you're handling your emotions because you just never know who can kick your ass.
Oh, exactly. So that road rage is a bad one too. You hear crazy stories all the time of, like, someone just get out killing someone because they're just so fucking fired up. Yeah,
I could have been one of them at some point, for sure. Like, during the pandemic last year, there was a couple of times. My shout out to Chelsea, my fiance. You know, she's kept me grounded because our business, like, it's been a rough go the last 2 years. Like, that's why we're doing grappling events only, because we're not regulated by the government.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
Events.
Yeah.
But when it comes to MMA, there's regulation. So when I say regulation, it's, you know, your $5 million liability. You have to have an ambulance, 4 paramedics, a commissioned staff of like 30 from the government.
Holy jeez. So there's so much that goes in.
Man. Every athlete, like, they have to have an X-ray, 20 types of blood, eye test, physical.
Holy shit.
MRI, in some cases, CT scan. Like, there's a lot to it, right?
Yeah.
So it's all about safety and regulation. And I always kind of compare them to, like, a liquor inspector, right? Like, if they came in, that's what they're there to do.
That's what they're there to look for.
The rules, right?
Yeah. Fuck, man. I like putting stuff. I know how much goes into it, but that's crazy. You need 30 people, like, just staff, eh?
Just like our events, we're probably like 50 plus staff.
Or I suppose, I guess you guys do pay-per-view and everything else. Yeah.
It's a lot. It becomes a lot, but it's like, you know, with the store, how, you know, you're growing and you're putting everything back into it, and eventually so we're getting to that point now where we're really happy with our product. And that we're putting out, and it's just now.
Oh, I think you guys are doing awesome, man.
Thank you, man. That's it, man. It's like you guys have been supporting us forever, and thank you.
Yeah. Well, to see you guys go through COVID and still put on events and just, you know, take the punches and roll with it is insane, man. Like, how many people just would have give up is.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I think a lot of people would have given up, but we were in so deep at that point. Like, you know, you have your investments, and you have, like, going since 2014 that I've been working in, and we were so close after our first event here, MMA event in Truro at the Rec, and that was 2020, and then literally 2 weeks later, COVID hit. And just everything went downhill from there, like we all know, right?
So,
but unfortunately for our business, we don't qualify for grants.
Oh, seriously?
Like,
there's nothing.
A small business like event companies, because it's all forecasted revenue. So there's no, and a lot of the revenue from because our company started at a certain time in 2019, later in the year, and our first event was in 2020. A lot of our expenses were in 2020 and not 2019.
I see.
So we didn't qualify for these grants that they were getting out. So it was not that, you know, our business isn't like your business where the lights are on and
exactly,
constant, you know, employees. So it's a little bit different, but we're just getting there, man. And this is a year. Hopefully.
Friggin' right, man.
Or we're done.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's going to work out for you, man. That's awesome.
Thank
and
you.
what year? So you said you started FLA in 2014 or 2019?
So we started 2014. We started a company called Submission Series. So that's when we did all these grappling kind of based heavy events and tournaments. We would do them at the Best Western here. We'd do them all over.
Yeah.
And then we just realized in 2018, I was working another thing. I worked full time in the travel industry, so I lost that career with the business because of COVID. So I travel all over the world taking people on trips is what my
that'd been
job
awesome.
is. Yeah, it's super cool, like all over the world so it's great, but then sometimes you get your like any job, right?
Yeah. Once it becomes a job.
Exactly, right?
Traveling sounds awesome, but yeah.
And then once I was kind of getting heavy into the travel, I just kind of was like, it was becoming too much for me. And to be completely honest, like I don't know what it's like in the snowboard world or in the skateboard world, but dealing with like parents.
Oh, some can be some are hard, man.
It's hard. Yeah. It's very hard. And
some are great, and some are tough.
I would assume it's similar, right? And that's the thing. And no fault to their own. They're passionate about what their youth wants to be successful at. So, but for us, it just became, again, it's liability. Here we are putting on these big jiu-jitsu tournaments where people are getting, and the more we did them, like we never had injuries, but the more popular they became, the minute we would bring in like paramedics, people would start getting hurt like crazy.
Yeah.
And I just was like, you know what, this is too much for me. So there are a lot of other great promotions out there that do tournaments, like Guillotine Production and Picto. They do good tournaments in Rogue and New Brunswick. They do great jiu-jitsu grappling events, but for us, we focus only on that, like the adult.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, not even to pump your tires with air, man. But I've never even heard of these other ones. You guys on your social media is on point, man.
Thank you.
See you guys everywhere. It's awesome, man.
Not bad for a guy with grade 12 education and a business
friggin' right
from community college. Eh?
That's awesome, man.
Courses here, it's like
same with us, man. I think it's the best thing with social media is just hop in yourself and figure it out. Like I see all the time, like certain people trying to advertise like social media training and stuff like that. It's like if you really just do it, you just figure it out yourself and get it. Yeah,
and you got to surround yourself too with other people who are like-minded.
100%, man. Yeah,
I find a lot of people. That's one big thing I find is like a lot of people, like you spoke about before, entitlement. Like a lot of people just want things to happen.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't know if you get those messages, but they'll be like, "Hey, how do I do this?" And it's like, I don't mind helping you, but it's also like you got to earn it a little bit.
Oh yeah,
too, right?
We get that all the time. It'll be like somebody asking for a sponsorship, and I'll be like, "Have you ever been in the store?" And they'll be like, but they'll be like, "No." Exactly. Yeah. So I'm like, we've never even shopped here or anything. Yeah. Or like you sponsor somebody and they don't share any posts or anything, and it's like, dude, I'm not sponsoring just because I'm like, oh, you're the man. Yeah. Like it's got to work two ways. Like a sponsorship has to work. Like you have to be helping us and we have to be helping you. It's like a partnership deal. Like when you just think you're so good, you deserve everything. Nobody wants you. Like
100%.
And same thing with like a personality goes so far too. Like that's the only problem I have with a lot of younger kids nowadays and stuff like that. There's just no personality and they think the skill will just do it. And 100% the skill's there, but like I look at other people that maybe weren't the best snowboarders, for example, but they still have a pro model boot because their personality off the board was so good too that like and they sold fucking product, which is what you're there to do, right? So
that's exactly it, right? That's at the end of the day, you have to realize you're an entity in this relationship. There's that fine balance of like ego. And,
exactly.
Like we don't sponsor a lot of people because it just doesn't work that way for our brand. But I can see exactly what you're saying, and because we do deal with a lot of the younger generation. It's weird because when you've been doing something for so long, it's just like to me, I come from like I've learned along the way like about how to be presentable and like this is how you approach things, and like people ask us how we get sponsors all the time, and I'm like, well, you have to prove to them that like you're worth it. Like
exactly,
why would they give you anything if you're not giving them like anything in return?
Oh, we talk about this all the time in the shop, man. It's a great topic, and some people just don't get it at all, man. No. It's crazy. Like
it's weird though. Like I spoke to Chris Kalidas, a former UFC guy, about this last week because I was like, why don't you come up with a course to develop athletes on how they should?
Yeah. That's a good one too, yeah.
You know what I mean? And it doesn't even have to be a UFC. It could be yourself. It could be anybody who is just like, this is how you develop and keep this relationship strong. Like even if it's social media posts, but being out in the community, being a good volunteering, always just kind of promoting your product. If I see you promoting my product all the time, That's going to be.
Well, you guys always promote us too, man. Yeah, it works great.
Well, but I mean, as a fighter, like if you're someone who's just going to buy my gear or our gear, Fight League Atlantic's gear off the website and start promoting it, like that to me tells me you care. You're invested in our product,
exactly. So
give you whatever not give you better fights, of course, or whatever, but we're going to give you more looks. We're going to
this guy
pay
gets
more
it.
Attention. Exactly. Right?
Exactly.
It's that relationship of like if you're in a relationship with your partner and they're not giving you anything back, it's like you're going to leave.
Yeah, exactly. It's 50-50, man.
Yeah. Payoff.
Yeah, exactly.
So
exactly. Do you guys like who would be like the biggest fighter you guys sponsor?
We don't, like I said, we don't sponsor anybody.
Oh, sorry. I thought you had a couple. Never mind.
No,
Yeah.
So I've sponsored personally, like, I don't even want to get into how much probably I've spent. I probably could have bought a nice car as opposed to like what I put into jiu-jitsu. But it's your passion, right? And it's what like I believe in, and I think it's a beautiful sport and a beautiful community. And
but that's half why you're successful with it too, though, man. Is like that there's like some shops around too that like I'll see, and maybe the guy that owns the shop or the people that are on the shop aren't the best skaters or snowboarders or anything, and it kind of takes away than if the guy behind the brand is legit and he's into it and he loves doing it. He'll sell itself, man. Like I'd rather support that any day of the week than somebody just maybe their heart's not in it. They're just trying to make a quick buck. Like
that's I think a lot of people notice that about our brand is that like well right there we stuck through it in the pandemic when like nothing was coming in, nothing was happening.
That's crazy, man. I just know how hard of a time we had and like event wise. God, dude, my hat's off to you. That is insane.
Well, good to you guys too,
insane,
man. It wasn't
man.
easy for anybody in small business, right? And like ironically enough, what's crazy about it is we had 4 grappling events and an MMA event during COVID, and the last one we just had was March 12th, and it was all kind of crazy. We had to space it out because the restrictions were going on, but that was the only event out of all of them that we had anybody give COVID.
Seriously?
And we tested. It was weird because every event we had to test. Like when it came to MMA, everybody had to be vaccinated. Their coach had to be vaccinated, had to provide it. They had to do a 7-day waiver. They had to provide a negative test when they got there. Like totally, safety conscious stuff, right?
Yeah.
But then this, like a grappling event, we didn't do that because we were getting close. Like it was 2 days later, the restrictions were ending. So of course, we didn't do any of that kind of stuff because you didn't have to ask for a passport. And then of course, people are texting me like, "Hey man, has anyone else got COVID?" And I'm like, "I have no idea. I don't know because we didn't." Trace it or anything. So good luck.
But at the end of the day, like if I get a kick out of these tests and stuff too, not that we'd have to get into this, but like 2 years ago, if you woke up and your nose was running or something, would you take a fucking test?
Oh man,
no. You would be like, oh, I got a fucking cold. Maybe if it was real bad, you might stay home, be like, fuck, I need some rest. Like. If you're a grown man, you don't need a test. Or a grown woman to tell you if you are feeling okay or not. That is insane.
I agree. Yeah. And that's where it's gotten, like, it's very unfortunate because people are so fearful now of anything, right? And that going back to live events, like to get people out to a live event is like, are people going to go? Are they scared? I don't know. Like, we're doing well. We're just about at 500 tickets. We're 2.5 weeks out. So hopefully it's going to pick up and get
we'll post the hell out of this too and try to move some tickets for you too.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And so, I don't know. It's a weird world, man, like with this whole COVID thing. And now they're talking about like bringing the boosters back and stuff. Like, I don't know.
She's done with, in my mind.
To me, it's done too. Like I went to dinner with my parents the other night. They're 75 years old, and like we don't wear masks. They're like at the end of the day, like we just have to move forward. And if I'm going to take a test every day I get up,
that's
fuck, like no,
that's just not a way to live either.
I was trying to move.
I
was very close to, and like obviously it's not realistic, but it's like in my mind for a couple of weeks it definitely was. I was thinking about it as best I could because it was just getting too much. It was too crazy.
It's crazy. And we joked about going to Florida all the time throughout the whole thing. Like, just go down and feel a little bit of normalcy for fucking a week or something. Yeah,
we went to the Dominican, actually, just at the end of January. And we did go to Alberta during, like, in 2020, like, when it was starting for her brother's wedding, which was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So we went to Alberta, which was, like, the mecca of it. It was September 2020, So it was, like, the mecca of... COVID at that time.
Yeah.
And we went there for the wedding and it was great. Like, but and it was funny because I'll never forget. I went in this Airdrie. It was like we were staying outside Calgary. I don't know if you know Calgary at all.
No, never been, unfortunately.
Airdrie's like a little bit of a rougher community on the outside of Calgary. Nice little neighborhood, but a little bit rougher in it. And they're a little bit more, I guess, conservative, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
In Alberta. So in that particular community, they weren't doing masks at all.
Oh, it's awesome.
So it was. So I walked in and I had a mask on just because I was, just trying to play along.
Yeah.
Because I thought you had to have one. So I walk in and this guy, he's like hammered. It's like 11 in the morning. He's like, "Get your fucking mask on, you pussy." And I'm like, what's going on?
That's awesome.
Here? He's just like drunk in the corner of the store shooting off. I'm like, all right, I guess.
Take this thing off. Yeah.
I don't fit in here. So.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
But. Yeah.
Oh, it's
for you.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like I was joking about the other day. Half the people I see walking up and down the road with masks on. I'm like, if you get sick, I don't want to. I bet you it's because you're not breathing any fresh goddamn air.
Man.
You're outside, take it off, breathe some fucking fresh air.
It's crazy. What I don't understand about it, and like, I'm going to listen to science. I'll listen to people who are smarter than me. I'm doing.
Oh, me, 100%.
People can do whatever they want to do. Whatever. I'm boosted. I triple. I don't care. Whatever people want to do. But I don't understand when they're talking in the news and it's like unvaccinated people are 5 times more likely to get it. And the numbers all along in the hospital have been lower vaccine.
Yeah.
If you're unvaccinated. So obviously someone at home's listening to this who's smarter than I am is going to be like, a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And I probably don't.
We're just having some fun.
Just the way they explained it is just like, I don't know. It just kind of, it's the way they sold it just seemed a little bit wrong.
Oh, yeah. I think most people are thinking like that too. Like I know all kinds of people have completely changed their narrative now. And
yeah, it's to me, it's like now it's like we're more cases. Everything's worse than it's ever been right now at this point. Like there was an article yesterday I saw that Nova Scotia is a COVID hotspot in the world.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, I think I saw that one too. And like that's like even the cafe's been like super dead and next door and stuff like that. And it's just like everybody talked to is like, oh, I've got COVID right now. No, I just got COVID right now. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, that's the thing. Like I don't know. I don't know where they're getting it. Like I'm still training and stuff, but I'm just not testing myself.
Oh, I don't.
So
yeah,
if I feel fine and I have a runny nose, I'm just going to continue.
Exactly like you've done your whole life.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Well, same way, man. Yeah.
Give me a test here. I got a runny left nostril.
Well, it's like part of it too is like.
If I'm over 80, it's different.
Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, that like I said, just made the fucking fight game some hard on you.
Very hard. Like I spoke to the commissioner last week about it. Like because we like in any state, any province, you have a commissioner who's in charge of the commission board. And like I said to him, I don't think I know how to put on a regular event anymore.
Yeah. That's a good point, too.
There was so much extra to do to look after that now the athletes can just show up with their proper medical, like in their license beforehand. So now all they have to do is show up and weigh in. Whereas before it was like the logistics of getting everything, like the paperwork and everything was just so much. So now it's just going to go back to a regular event, and it should to go to this event and see 700 or 1,000 people back at an MMA event live again is going to be great.
It'll be awesome, man.
No masks and no restrictions.
There's still some tickets left.
We're about 50% sold out.
We're gonna get some tickets.
Yeah. Oh man,
I'm gonna get a couple guys. We're gonna get some tickets, man. I the last one we had to cancel because of Moncton. I just couldn't get over there. But
Moncton's a hard place for some people, right? It's a little bit farther. We'll be back. We're gonna be in Sackville in June.
Awesome.
Sackville, New Brunswick. Right on the border.
Count us in to sponsor that one for sure, man.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, I wanted to tell you anyway. I want to sponsor the next one anyway. Well, I want to do the whole table and do a whole night, man. It looks fun as can be, man.
You know what? It is a lot of fun. But here in Truro, a lot of people had too much fun, I think.
Oh, did they?
I think there's more fights in the crowd. Than
people fired up when they see the deal throwing
They get fired up and they're drunk and then it's like so it's like that.
One thing leads to another.
Beautiful flow of an event. I take a lot of practice in behind the scenes our business of like having the proper flow of the event and not too much dead air.
Yeah.
Because that's when people like it was hard during our last event in COVID because we had to do it a certain way and time it out because everyone had to do different things, cleaning in between. But like in a regular event, it shouldn't be that much time in between fights because that's when you're getting the dead time. That's where you're getting people bored going to get drunk. And it's good to sell booze, but we don't get any return on the booze.
Yeah, so exactly.
To me, it's like drink, have a good time, but I don't.
Yeah. Don't get too crazy.
I'd rather you not try to kill one another outside the crowd.
100%.
That's why we have to have $5 million liability.
Yeah, exactly.
It's nuts, man. And like 15 security. It's a big full event, right? So
it's friggin' right, man.
It's a fun night out for people, you know.
Yeah, it looks awesome, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say is like any like crazy moments over the last couple of years, like fighting wise? You can remember anything?
Like fighting wise, not really. Like everything, I will say, like in this business, especially, like you just never know what to expect.
Yeah.
For us, it probably takes 300 athletes to do a 10 fight card. of 20 athletes. It probably go through 300 athletes or close to that. Between its medicals and like people getting hurt or just talking. Like there's been on this particular card, like I bet I've talked to literally 50 to 100 teams for one guy.
Holy shit.
Like it's a very hard competitive business when in Canada a lot of people are doing events at the same time or the same weeks. Trying to use the same people, but when it comes to fights, like it's just crazy. Like there's a lot of talented athletes on the East Coast, and there's a lot of opportunities for them. Hopefully, moving forward, we can get them more opportunities. But they're all super talented, and you never know what to expect. You see your random crazy submissions, but everyone's so polite for the most part. Like
that's what I find with there's a guy, I can't remember his name. He's a pretty good customer of the store. I haven't seen him in a minute. He knew Mitch a little better when Mitch owned the place, but he would come down from Mickey's after training. He'd buy a pair of shoes or a shirt or something like that, and Mitch would always be like, he was the nicest guy on the planet. And Mitch would be like, that guy's a killer. Yeah. He's insane up there. And I was always, in the couple people I met, like the nicest people ever. But then you just hear like, they're an animal.
Oh, yeah. And that's the beautiful thing
that's
about
awesome.
It, right? That's one big thing we try to strive is like, we want people to be classy and respectful and like carry the martial art properly. Like, if you want to be Conor McGregor, that's fine, but just save that until you get a little further on your career. You're not Conor McGregor. You're John Smith from wherever you're from. So it's, you know what I mean? Like this is your second amateur fight. Just chill out here a little bit.
Exactly.
So it's that big, like moving forward in a classy way for the future of the kids coming up behind. We want kids and people who are in the sport to be respectful and like be out in the community and be a good representation of what we're doing here. You know,
exactly,
not like
man.
The meathead that's fighting outside the engine room at 3 a.m. with a Fight League Atlantic hoodie on.
Right? Exactly. Yeah. That's like I said. We actually sponsored just a surfer this summer. He ended up being an awesome snowboarder too. And but he was like my biggest thing with him was like he was a great on the board, obviously, but off the board, don't hear enough good things. You can't hear enough good things about him. And I just like that. I respect the absolute hell out of that. Where there's other kids who just talk about the entitlement again who. They might be good, and that'd be the last thing I want is to have somebody wearing an HAF hoodie and out being like, I'm the shit, like, you aren't fucking nothing. Calm down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's it, man. Like you want like a local tournament.
Exactly.
Right? Like that's exactly, and it's that humbling, like, sometimes that's the beautiful thing about fighting, too, is you can silently humble somebody.
Yeah,
you know
friggin' right.
Like, and I get humbled all the time myself, but, like, there's sometimes you can just, like, silently, you're like, okay, I'm going to get you the next time I see you.
Yeah.
And then you just do it, right? And it just, I don't know if it humbles people, but it certainly feels like there's been plenty of clubs through the years where that's how you humble people. Like, you just got to beat the shit out of them till they learn to, like, you're not that good.
Yeah.
You won a tournament in Trenton.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, and I always try to explain it, like, for us, like, we're just a bunch of people who love what we're doing.
Yeah.
And we're small town Nova Scotia guys. So, like, if we don't think we're the shit, you shouldn't think you're the shit.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? We're all, like, to me, I always say it's one family. Like, we're all a bunch of weirdos who like combat sports.
Yeah.
A lot of people from the outside world think we're weird in the first place.
Yeah.
For liking what we're like fighting or whatever. So be respectful and hold yourself accountable so those people maybe change their mind, right?
Yeah, exactly, man.
And you, like, snowboarding, skateboarding is kind of the same thing, right? It's that niche sport that people, like, snowboarding, skateboarding is a lot more mainstream now.
Yeah.
But it's not as fringe as fighting, obviously, but at one point it was.
Oh, freaking right, man. Like, yeah. Well, I would say, like, would you say the mixed martial arts, the whole thing would be more accepted now with, like, UFC over COVID blew up?
Yeah, it did, but the problem is like when it comes to, for example, like community building. So this is a perfect example here in Truro at the Rec.
Yeah.
Like, shout out to Matt Moore and the crew, great people, they do a great job, but that's a community-owned building. So if I go to rent that building, right away they have a board of like 10 people who have no idea. And
that drives me crazy.
And they're like, it's Sheila from down the road who's never ever experienced anything about fighting in her life. But she sat on every board in the world, and she has the power to say no.
Oh, we deal with this stuff all the time too, man. It drives me crazy.
Yeah, and that's crazy. What gags me about that kind of stuff. It's like you're community building, yet you're stereotyping us.
Yeah, 100%, man.
Like, how is that possible? You know, so that pisses me off. That happens a lot when we talk to certain venues, these new venues that are based.
Yeah.
That only cater to hockey. That kind of
the Nova Scotia friggin' thing, man. Yeah, hockey. It's insane, dude. Yeah.
And like, we had a great event here in Truro, and we'll maybe come back in the future. I don't know. They were very good to us, and we'll see. But that's a hard venue because you got the thing is, like, a lot of these venues don't understand is if I'm going to come in here and I'm the one doing all the promotion, then, and if you're going to take 100 box seats with all the sponsors who would normally sponsor my event, but now they're sponsoring your venue and they get the seats anyway, it's impossible for me to compete.
Exactly.
You know, I'm paying you prime rate for the building, and then I also have to give you 100 seats for the boxes who the people would normally sponsor the event. It's like a lose-lose, right? So it's hard to...
I'm like I find myself like I'll have such good ideas sometime for an event, and I'll go with it, and then once wherever trying to do it starts putting up roadblocks, I just have that fuck you, I'll go somewhere else right off the fucking bat.
Too,
like especially like some of the events we've done over the years, like great turnout, and then I don't really want to say it, but you try to do a certain event somewhere else, and nothing even against the thing, and they just roadblock, and you're like, holy fuck, everybody would make money here if we could just do this. This is insane.
I find that's and I don't know if it's small town Nova Scotia. I don't know what it is, but there is a lot. To me, it's like if I see someone driving down the road with a really nice car, I'm like, how did you get that? As opposed to a lot of people are like, fuck that guy.
Oh yeah. People hate success, man. We were having a chat downstairs the other day about this. How like why people just hate people succeeding. It's crazy.
Jealous, right?
Yeah.
They just because man, at the end of the day, like I always say about our business, to get ahead of us, you're going to have to be up at 5 and go to sleep at 4.
Yeah.
that's the way it is for me. I'm working 24 hours a day, and we're just so on the ball with everything. Like it's just but we want competition. Competition makes people better. That's
exactly,
we're not perfect. We don't know. Like we're just learning every day. Like I always, I have a buddy of mine who owned a Subway, and like he always said that he's like people, and I tell this to everybody. Like people always would ask me, like McDonald's is building beside you. Doesn't that suck? He's like, no, it's great because when people come to see McDonald's, they're going to notice Subway's right there.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Someone in that car is going to come to my store, whereas they normally wouldn't.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like it's drawing that business in.
Friggin' right, man. And I'm a big believer too in like your comfort zone is not a good place to be in. No. Like I find anytime I fucking get comfortable, that's 100% when things start going wrong, or like when things are going right is when I'm like a little stressed out, working all the time, being like, is this going to work? That's when things are the best. Yeah. When you're just content doing nothing, dude, that's a fucking bad spot to be.
Agree.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people like that, right?
Oh yeah.
To me, every day is a new challenge. That's the whole way it is. And speaking of your events, like it's funny because have you guys ever thought about doing like that, or were you guys involved in like the whole Tony Hawk thing?
No, that was a outside what was
like
that called?
Promoter kind
of the Jackalope Fest. It was like a whole thing that goes around the world or whatever, and I think they were in contact with the rec and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
okay.
But yeah, it would have been cool to be involved.
Yeah,
in that.
You would think so.
Yeah. Because that's what we were even all joking. We're like, fuck, I wonder if we can do like a pop-up shop or anything like that. But I guess it got canceled, so we didn't really get to
the whole COVID
play around
thing.
with it anyway.
That's something maybe, like I don't know, we should talk in the future though, man, because I think, with our pay-per-view, like I said, about
it'd be correct. I wasn't even thinking about you guys doing that, man. I'd love to start doing some stuff like that. That'd be super cool.
That's the thing, like for us, we're really, we have the capabilities of doing all this pay-per-view, but a lot of people, like my cousin just became the pro at Abercrombie Golf over in New Glasgow.
Oh, no way.
I was trying to convince him, I'm like, let's pay-per-view your club championships.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these, like, if it's done properly, like we'll charge you a certain amount, but we're not going to charge you a crazy amount. But at the end of the day, you can sell that to your sponsors and be like, here, this pay-per-view is going to be presented by your company. But it's hard to us to explain what we're doing because we can give a video of pay-per-view like for our fight event, but they don't understand how it's going to translate over to their sport.
Yeah.
But there is an ability there because you can have the sponsors up and you can have all your members at home pay $9.99 to watch the club championships.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, man. Yeah,
or even if it's a snowboard.
I was gonna say we do a big golf tournament at the churro thing here. You got me thinking that'd be so cool to have that pay per view. Just like there's a couple real good golfers that play in it, but for the most part, it would be cool to just tune in and see a bunch of people that are going to hit the ball exactly like you.
Yeah,
a bunch of people out there just having a few drinks, having fun.
Would that be good to pay per view though? Does anything shady go on?
No, not really. No.
I used to do a charity golf tournament. It was a lot of super fun stuff. But I don't know if anybody would like to be on camera in those ones.
Yeah, well, after maybe on the back nine, people might not want to be seen on camera when they.
We could definitely do something like that.
That'd be really cool, man.
Actually, mark me down for a team. When is that?
We last year was kind of towards the end of the year. I'm trying to get it. I'm trying to do a couple this year, but I'm going to try to do one like right off the bat.
Nice.
But I'll put you down see for sure, man. Awesome.
Sponsor it and
friggin' right, man. That's awesome.
Favor.
Friggin' right, man. Like I say, we got your back too, man.
That's it, man. That's what it's about.
Dude.
Yeah, I agree.
That's awesome. So do you have any like partners or anything too in FLA, or is it just you?
Yeah, so John Foster, he's my business partner. He lives in the Valley.
Yeah.
So he does kind of a lot more behind the scenes kind of work. He owns a couple other businesses down there.
Yeah.
He owns a big gym, Motive Fitness, and another Wild Valley Supply Company, which is like
cool.
a fishing, hunting, high-end kind of store down in the Valley. Yeah. So he does a lot of like that kind of stuff, and he's pretty heavily involved. So we've been we've known each other forever. He used to do a big head competition in Nova Scotia because we would both do jiu-jitsu tournaments, and it was always like, I had this many people.
Oh, yeah.
No, I had this many people. Yeah. So it was always the big thing at the end. So
so you guys a pretty good match then.
Yeah. We, there's like any business partner, you tell each other to fuck off once in a while.
Yeah.
But you just in one, you're out the other, and move forward with what you're working on, right? And
yeah, exactly.
Just business, man. Like that's one thing that took me a long time.
I'm in the middle of that right now of being like, nothing's personal in this. It's strictly business. Or like, I had a hard time when I first took over the shop telling certain reps are trying to get me to book something and seeing I'd just be like, oh, yeah, okay, book it when I didn't really want to. And now I'm really starting to learn to be like, no, I don't want to do that. Nervous. I got fucked last time I did that. I'm not doing that this time. Nothing against you. Love to support you, but I can't do that.
Well, the thing is that rep's probably coming in here saying, with all these certain minimum numbers or whatever you know what I mean, and you're trying to appease them and be nice and keep the relationship good, and you don't want to ruffle any feathers because you don't know the relationship from before.
Yeah, exactly.
Then, it's hard like that, but man, that's the thing. I know exactly like that struggle of being kind, and I've sat at home many times in my life and sleepless nights and or been like, does that person not like me or whatever, right? Like
replaying conversations.
And some people write me and they're like, do you think Dana White gives a fuck about that? And I'm like, don't compare me to Dana White. Like, Dana White's a billionaire, man. Like, I'm just a local fight promoter. Like,
still a good way to think though, man. Yeah,
that's the thing. Like, it's like about like, but I've become a little bit harder in the last year or so. Like now it's my turn.
Yeah, exactly.
To be successful, like
exactly, man.
So it's like
you put the work in.
Yeah. So it's time to eat, right? Like
freaking right, man.
Well, hopefully we can, man. Hopefully this takes off, and everybody's like, the big thing with us is like, it's about putting everything back into the product too. We're not just taking, if we become super successful, we're not just going to run off to you know what I mean? It's like about continuous to build our production, add more value, pay the fighters more. That kind of deal. So
exactly.
Sky's the limit.
Yeah, man, that's awesome to hear, dude. I'm pumped to fucking see what you guys do.
Thank you, man. That's the thing. Like, we have the ability here. Like, no one does the production we do in the whole country. But because we're on the East Coast, like we get messages from UFC Fight Pass, we get messages from Fight TV, these other who want to carry our product. But it's like bare knuckle TV, they wanted to carry it, but it's like we're losing 50% of revenue right off the hop. As soon as you put it on their network, like we pay-per-view and they take half, and it's like, well, we have 2 million subscribers. Well, that's good. No one cares.
Yeah,
like John in Arkansas isn't going to buy this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So so we pay-per-view it all our own, and
that's awesome.
Keep it all in house.
Yeah, I'm super intrigued on that. Like, how do you go about pay-per-viewing something?
You know what?
I wouldn't even know where to start here.
That's the thing. It took us a long time to figure out. Before, when we first started, there was I won't give out too many secrets, but like I'll tell you off air more so.
Yeah.
But like when we first got started, we would stream for free. We would stream everything for free.
Oh, seriously?
We bought a switcher in 2013, and we got two cameras, and we would switch, and it wasn't great. It was like a 1-camera stream, but we would get like 10,000 people watching free.
That's unreal.
No one was doing what we were doing.
Yeah.
And then we just were like, well, why are we doing this free? Like,
100%. Especially if you got 10,000 people watching. Yeah,
that's it.
And it's like
exactly right. And it's like we figured it out. It's like we can sell the sponsors to pay for ads on the stream or whatever it happened to be. And that's how. And so there was a couple other sites we used. Like, it's a lot of it is just. Shout out to Danny Harvey, man. Like, he's one of my best friends for my whole life, and he's a guy who used to work at Eastlink, and he's been doing that. He did a lot of that, like the Quebec Major Junior Hockey games and all that kind of stuff back in the day. And then he's
real tech savvy dude,
super tech savvy, and not only that, he has him and his crew, like, they have the ability to kind of go in and run a big an event, but with minimal gear and. Like, they just do everything. They're like, I don't like. It's just this our 40th event now.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah.
So it's
fucking congrats. Thanks, I keep saying that. That is awesome, man. I didn't realize you guys do 40 events.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, we did one in Alberta. We did one in Ontario. Got ripped off. Lost my shirt in both of those. Shout out to those men.
Yeah.
I know who you are.
Yeah.
but
that's
again
fucked.
part of the business, right? Like I've lost lots, I've won. To me, winning is, people can say what they want, they're after money, whatever. But everyone who follows our brand knows that's not the case. We're all about, building. Sure, everybody wants to get paid, but it's also about that balance, right? Like you said earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's an up and down roller coaster of a businessman. And
you're friggin' right.
What do you do? Like, to me, if everybody can leave the event and no one got hurt, that's a win.
And you could people talking about it all week. What a fun time they had in the stands and stuff like that, man. It's
Johnny
goes
got
a long way.
sucker punched.
Yeah.
I don't know why I keep saying John.
Yeah. Johnny, that's just the name.
My business partner, Johnny.
Yeah. Was there any like crazy knockouts you can remember or anything like that that's happened at events or like?
Our last event, actually, there was a really exciting fight between Rob Logan, original Truro native, actually, and Thomas Johnson. That was a really good back and forth fight.
Is there video of it that too?
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, it was a really, really good back and forth fight, and then like Rob was getting peppered.
Yeah,
he was covering up a lot, but like Thomas was really bringing it to him the first 2 rounds, and then Rob was playing it out a little bit, waiting to see, and Thomas slowed down, and Rob clocked him and came across to the right and dropped him, and it was a really good fight, and it's we were trying to line out that rematch because it was a good fight.
Yeah.
But it's like I say, a lot of these athletes, it's a small community. It's not like we're not Ontario, so our athletes, it's a smaller pool. So sometimes that's the thing, when fighters get hurt, sometimes you might only have 5 guys in one division and 4 of them are fighting.
Yeah.
And it makes it difficult that way. But it's to be honest, man, like because our jiu-jitsu is so good in the Maritimes, like it's so, I think 5 fights ended in armbar out of 10.
Holy shit.
Maybe more, 6.
Yeah.
So it's like a very submission heavy, and the rule set's like that too. In MMA here, you have to, the unified rules for amateur now around the world, which I agree with. It's until you have 3 fights, you can't strike on the ground.
Yeah.
So you can't punch on the ground, because that's where the concussions come from. Like when you're down and someone's smashing your head and you're hitting your head on the
bouncing,
canvas, right? And there's no give on your neck or your head, and you're hitting the canvas. That's where a lot of those.
I never even would have thought about that. Yeah, definitely.
Or smashing your head when you're down. Like if you're up here, there's some give. It's not good for you, but it's a little bit different. But so you can't strike on the ground until 3 fights. So it becomes a little. It's like a kickboxing fight, standing up and grappling on the ground is what it really comes down to, right?
Yeah.
So it's a lot of really good submission, a lot of good grapplers fight on our card. So
that's awesome. Yeah, I'm fucking stoked to come to one.
It's a little, but it's funny because it's like everyone loves the knockout.
Yeah, well, that's even like me. That's what I'm asking, knockout. But like 100%, it'd definitely be one of them things that like once you get into it, you really respect the art of the submissions and how it goes and everything. When I guess a guy like me that just doesn't know a whole lot is just like, hit him in the face, knock him out.
Yeah, punch him in the dick. Yeah. Well, whatever. The crazy, like you hear all that kind of stuff, people yelling that stuff, and that's what you want, right? Like that's what people want. Like I'm a jiu-jitsu purist, sure, but like I get it, I understand it, but like I understand also if I'm in a fight, there's not a chance in hell I'm literally gonna take down against somebody who doesn't. Right away. It's just the way it is because I don't want to get hit in the head. And I know where I'm strongest. So
I was gonna say it almost sounds like the exact same thing as like I know snowboarding. Like what I ride is like a lot of rails and stuff, but I can do like big backflips. So everybody just wants to see the fucking backflips. When really I put so much time into hitting rails and stuff like that, and the art behind it is awesome. And you can do like you could do the hardest trick, switch. Nobody give a fuck, backflip something, everybody loves it. But
so the backflip's a lot easier?
Way easier, and everybody just loves it.
Than a rail?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
interesting.
The rails are like hard. That would be like, to me, it just like sounds exactly like what you're kind of saying with the submission. Like for somebody that really knows the sport, you like watch it, like, oh man, that guy's really good. When you see a backflip, you're like, oh, buddy, learn how to backflip. Who gives a fuck?
But See, I would have been the exact. I'd be the white belt. I'd be like, that man, show me the flip.
Exactly. But even when I was just down in Newfoundland, they were all like just didn't give a fuck about me hitting rail. They just wanted me to keep going upside down over the fucking thing.
It's such a beautiful sport though, man. Like it really is. Like I grew up skiing a little bit. Like we would go down to Maine and like Wildcat, I think we went to, and a couple other mountains down in New Hampshire and stuff. It was great. Like, but I probably haven't skied in quite a while, and I wouldn't be great anymore. But I wasn't great ever. But I did go snowboarding one time, and oh, man, my ass and
wrist. That's what he says. Yeah.
So it's an incredible thing, but like it's really your dexterity and your athleticism has to be like really good, man.
Yeah, 100%.
To be able to like never leave those bindings.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like it's just, but you probably grew up doing it your whole life,
exactly.
Right?
Like,
yeah. That's a big difference.
Yeah, friggin' right, man.
Yeah.
But
that's cool.
Yeah. The super similar in that way. Yeah.
Well, it is in a lot of ways, but I think I will say I think snowboarding is a little bit more exciting to watch. Like that's the thing about jiu-jitsu. What's hard because we only do no gi stuff, so there's no gi involved.
Yeah.
But a lot of places like it's traditional, more gi.
I almost like the no gi because the no gi to me is like shit's going down. Exactly. Where if I see the gi, I might be like, oh, they're kind of like sparring, da 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 da. But
it's a lot slower, right? It's like people will shoot me for saying this, but like I haven't put the gi on and probably since I got my black belt like 2.5 years ago. I just like we don't in New Glasgow we never train in the gi because we're just no gi guys. We like footlocks. We like roll. We like in the gi it's grips. Everything's grip. They can hold you. Whereas to me, and I always argue that it's not realistic. Like I think it's more realistic that there's no grips.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, but everyone, oh no, if you have grips, but I say the hoodie's going to come off if you're in a fight. It's just not, it's everything has its pros and cons. But to me, it's just a little more fast and a lot more exciting to draw new people into the sport.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
That's the whole trick.
Yeah.
Like you see people in the gi. Like some people are exciting. It depends on the matchup. But if you get two high level guys in the gi, it's like, man, you might as well sand this table.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah. No, definitely, I can see that for sure, man.
It's just like intricacies of like passing the lapel of the gi to one to the next or whatever.
Yeah. I guess funny enough, I never really would have thought about that. I didn't realize people actually fought in the gi either. I thought that was just while you were like training stuff like that.
No, like that's like the biggest. No gi's pretty small compared to like gi. Gi's more traditional and
that's crazy. Yeah.
Like in Truro here in Marmac, I think they're slowly switching. Mickey, come on, man, switch it more.
You heard it here first, Mickey.
Yeah. Chris Boyd, do it.
Yeah.
But they're getting a little bit more no-gi too. It's just a little bit more fun, especially in the summer. It's too hot with that.
Friggin' right, I would think. Especially you're rolling around, fighting. Like,
I hate
good Lord.
I hate it. Because I'm like the way I fight. I'm like I just get away from me. I like my distance and creating space, and like a lot of those gi people that like hold.
I was gonna say, yeah.
I don't like that. I don't like the pressure.
Yeah,
pressure will break it real quick.
Yeah, I bet. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Let's just a couple more questions for you, man.
Sure.
What you guys like get at like athletes all over Canada to come to these, right?
Yep.
So it's not just like Nova Scotia or Maritime guys. Like you guys will get a guy from Ontario to sign a fight or a guy from West to sign a fight and come down. That's awesome.
Like
have you had people from the States too?
Lots of jiu-jitsu.
Awesome.
Lots of jiu-jitsu. Brazil.
Oh,
Europe.
that's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, we've had like
unreal.
A lot of people from Europe and stuff come, and they all fly here on their own to come.
That is sick.
It's crazy, man.
Man. I respect that so much.
Me too.
It's just how much you love it. Like,
there's a guy coming on our next card on April 30th. He's coming. Shout out to this guy, Simon. He's coming to fight. No coaches.
Seriously, where's he coming from?
In Vancouver.
Yeah.
Flying on his own.
No coaches, no nothing.
To fight. Like
what a legend.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And like we had a guy in our last card, like he had no coaches either. He didn't even know he had hand wraps. Like, man, the fucking awesome. Messages you get. Like we could start a league up here with other guys who can't fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We'll have a second fight league.
Yeah, exactly.
The amount of people that message us who are like, bro. And that's how they start, and they're just like, bro, and they send us bag work, and they're just like sitting in their base and beating the shit out of bag. It's like, man, like I don't. Just go register on the website, and you don't. It's a. You don't want to be rude to anybody. You know, I want to really help them progress and get better because that's what they want to do.
100%.
It's our business. We want you to be able to fight and want you to get in there, but.
It's also like that thing like we talked about at the start. Like instead of sending that message saying, "Can I get in here?" Go and do it, and you putting in the work. Somebody's going to see it, and you're going to get that chance, that opportunity anyway. We're like, because we just get that all like, how do you get sponsored? How do you get sponsored? Go put in the work.
Yeah, man.
We'll notice you.
Make us notice you.
Yeah, like every once in a while, I'm like, man, there's nobody snowboarding around here anymore. Then I go to Wentworth and notice one kid that maybe just doesn't post anything or anything. I'm like, fuck, he's doing it. Awesome. And I've never even heard him. He's never asked for anything. He's out here doing it.
Yeah.
Hopefully someday he gets good enough we can sponsor.
Putting in the hard work, man.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's funny that everybody wants
people
that
will notice.
Shortcut, right?
Exactly,
like,
man.
In martial arts, the big thing, like it seems to be lost a little bit, is like coach.
Yeah.
It's like, man, like having a good coach. Like I didn't have a great coach in my early like hockey when I was playing hockey and team sports. I didn't really have a great coach. Soccer, I guess I did, but my coaches now, like, they're such wonderful people and just good men.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that motivates me to be a better person, a better man.
Oh, exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
And that they lead by example. And I find a lot of people, like, now, like, it's like, you don't fucking know anything. And maybe they don't either. Just because they're coach.
Yeah.
They might not always give you the right advice, but they're there for you at all the times. And it's that respect thing of, like, maybe I should check with my coach, or maybe my coach who's giving me this advice, I should actually take it to heart, you know? Because I find a lot of people, and it's even with us now, people think we're the UFC.
Yeah.
Like, they'll message us at, like, their promotion, oh, I want a refund, the stream broke down, blah, 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 blah. Or, like, oh, I have 2 tickets in, I have to change this ticket to someone else. It's like, would you call the Metro Center?
Yeah, yeah.
And do that?
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't.
Exactly, 100%.
It's just like, fuck, I don't know.
Oh, I hear you on that, man. It's like same downstairs. Somebody never come in the shop before they walk in and go, what deal do I get?
Yeah,
and you're like,
exactly.
You never fucking shopped here. I've never seen you come through the door.
Yeah. Right out the door.
Yeah, but it's the same thing. Like, would you go to fucking Sobeys with the fucking thing of fucking groceries and go up and be like, okay, what are we cutting down today? What am I paying for this?
Exactly.
Exactly what the fucking price tag says, man.
They would never do it, but local, it's weird, man. It's just funny, you know. It's a small amount of people, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, there's a lot of we have a great fan base, and I don't want to shit on the small ones, but we have a really good fan base that. Hopefully it's going to keep growing.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, like, what do we guys are like 6,000 followers on Instagram now too, aren't you?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
We're getting there, man. We're you know, it's like you guys, right? It's like a work in progress. It's like that daily. For me, it's all about consistency. That's
100%. Yeah.
Like, but I will say, like, coming from a customer service and planning background, that's been a big help for me because I'm always available.
Yeah.
To, like, when people write a message, like, they know they're going to get a message kind of right back.
Yeah, I try to be like that too. There's a certain time of night, like 7:30. I go to bed at like 9.
Yeah,
so I'll
too.
just like I got to put my phone down. I got to relax for at least an hour or something. But I'm the same as you, man. I'm up every day at like 5:36. Yeah. But once I try to make like a Instagram post or something right off the bat, so when people wake up, it's the first thing on their feed and. And you got to play the game, man. That content game.
Shout out to Chelsea. She's always, pitting up. I don't know if you have a significant other in your life, but man, that's
not right now.
Man, I for a long time, and once I found her, like, especially it's when you're an entrepreneur, like your hours are crazy. You're all over the place, and this is your love.
You're
right?
just
your baby. So it's like. I have to put all my time into this, and you need that person to support you. And she's a phenomenal support. She's awesome, man. She's
friggin' right, man.
Tables, setting up chairs, whatever she has to do. She knows she's going to have a lot of beers at the event. So
that's awesome. Yeah,
but having a great person to support me.
That's huge, man. Because I even know in my past before, certain girls I've hung out with before, and maybe like working because I work every Saturday.
Yeah.
Unless there's something going on, but that's what I do. And but they'll be like, oh, can you never take the weekend off? You can do it. It's like. Yeah, I could, but this business got to be success. Yeah. Like
I'm trying to make this so I can retire at 50 and we can live in Florida.
Play golf every day.
Exactly, right? And that's true, though, man. Like, it's that hustle, right? You're trying to get ahead.
Exactly. But half it, like we were talking about, is just the love of it, man. Like, I literally, genuinely love snowboarding, love skate, love everything about what the shop stands for. So it's just like it's me.
Passion.
It's awesome. Which is I get that from you too. It's FLA is you. It's Derek. It's awesome, man. Like
eat, sleep, breathe it, man.
Friggin' right, man.
I don't know anything else. Like that's my social life struggles. Bad. Like I'm so socially awkward, man. It's terrible. Like we went to a Mooseheads game. Like I'm not a big drinker at all.
Yeah.
But I went out to the Mooseheads game. We went last weekend. Chelsea, a couple of friends, and I had 4 Michelob Ultra.
Yeah.
And puked. It was like over a 6-hour period too. Like, and I'm just like, man, I'm like 41, and I don't drink anymore at all.
Yeah.
So even those 4 beer, like I think it's just I'm getting allergic, or if I'm allergic to alcohol or whatever. So I'm just like the most unfun person to like. I'm social awkward, and now like I don't even drink anymore. So it's just like. It's getting harder and harder to go out in public. Fight events are all I know, and even the fight events, I'm like, I'm slowly getting to the point where it's like, I find like, you know what I mean. Like when you're there, it's like everything seems to go through you, so it's like, even little questions, man. It's like where is the venue?
Those are the worst, especially when you post a poster. But dude, that's like my No, don't even mean to talk shit about anyone that does it, but you literally can post. Like I do it we do this other show on here, clips, and people sending clips.
Yeah,
I can send clips to this email. First question every time.
Where do I send
What's
it?
the email?
Yeah.
I'm like, You replied to it. What the fuck do you mean? What the fuck the email is?
Know.
I just posted, or like every time, event, anytime, location, 72 English Place, right off the bat. Where is it? What time? Like, did you even read the fucking poster? Had everything on there.
If you responded like that, you'd be the asshole.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, so exactly.
How do you respond?
Yeah, that's I was just super. I'm like, yep, this is the venue. This is that.
Did you see that thing going around? As per my last email, the
no, I don't think so. No,
big thing going around in the MMA world. It was like a 4-piece combo.
Oh yeah.
Like, as per my last email, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. It was just,
That's awesome.
I send those out a lot.
Fucking right.
As per my last email.
Check her out.
Read it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, fucking right, man.
Business is fun, man. You know, it's like I never thought in my wildest dreams. Like I grew up kind of putting together small hockey tournaments for my buddies when we were like 12 years old.
Yeah.
And like a couple of them say now, they're like, look at you, like this.
So that's what kind of started.
That's kind of what it started. But I never in my wildest dreams thought I'd be involved in a fight game at this stage of my life.
Yeah, I think that's awesome,
man.
It's
crazy.
Yeah.
I thought I'd be still traveling. I love traveling, and we'll see. But it's traveling with old people around the world is it's hard. It was hard then, and now it's going to be crazier.
I don't
know if I'll go back to that. We'll see.
Yeah.
Hopefully FLA takes off, man. The way it's planned.
I think it is, man. Yeah, I think you're going to do it.
Let's hope. Fingers crossed, man. Yeah. Hopefully FLA and HAF will be
friggin' right, man.
Taking off together and blowing up together.
Let's do her. Yeah. That's awesome,
Fingers
man.
Crossed.
Do you get anything you want to shout out or anything, or fight coming up, or anywhere anybody can grab tickets or anything like that?
Yeah. Our tables are sold out. We just sold out yesterday for our tables for the event on April 30th, but we're about 50% tickets left.
Awesome.
Super Cage side about 40% left. So FightLeagueAtlantic.com, you can get your tickets, and we're not sure if we're doing a pay-per-view yet. Because butts in the seats are very important in this business, and a lot of people are like, I'm waiting for the pay-per-view, but the problem is when you're waiting for the pay-per-view, you're paying $39.99 or $49 or whatever we're going to charge, and there's 5 of you splitting it.
Yeah.
Whereas the person who dedicated their whole weekend to go to the event and paid the $50 for the in-house ticket, and
exactly, everything's so much better live too.
But it's also like, we can't sell these events. These events are super expensive. It's like people always wonder about amateur boxing versus this or whatever. With us, an amateur MMA, professional MMA, it all goes through a commission, whereas amateur boxing, amateur judo, wrestling, they're all under Olympic sanctioned sports. So they can kind of do their own,
I see. Yeah.
with limited medicals. They can just show up and have their blood work and do a medical, and they're good to go fight, and that's it. But for us, we have to have everything legal, like licensed. It's like a whole different, you're talking like $50,000 for events, like super expensive. So on the cheap end.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah.
Actually, I got one more question for you.
Bought a car.
Yeah. Who's your any like top UFC fighters you like? Like who's your favorite? Or it could be a bad question. I don't know if you.
No, man. I'm a big UFC fan. I love UFC.
What do you think of Paddy the Baddie?
I love him.
He's like really pulling me into the sport right now. Actually, like I watched his last fight. I was like, man, I fucking love this guy.
Yeah.
Him and I like Sean O'Malley too. He's awesome.
The only thing I don't like about O'Malley is when he lost to Cheeto. And then
because he thinks he won.
He thinks he won.
Yeah.
It's like, man, no, you lost.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But that's
I couldn't agree more.
Character, right? Like it's his shtick, and I get it. But he's done real well for himself, man. Like he gets it, right? He understands. Like there's more to the sport than me getting paid from the UFC.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's why I like him. Like I haven't even seen too many of his fights. I think he's great. Like on Instagram and his vlogs, and he does a couple people's podcasts that I listen to. I think he's great on there. And,
that's the thing, man. Like if you look at a major, look at LeBron or Jordan or any of these people, like, and they're obviously superstars, but they're making $20 million to play basketball, but they're making $40 million on endorsements.
Exactly. Yeah.
So why, like, an old buddy of mine, Mark Hominick, who used to be a fight in the UFC, one of the best in Canada, and he sold out the Rogers Center with GSP.
Holy shit!
He fought the Korean Zombie, he lost the Korean Zombie.
Oh yeah.
So we were talking about it back in the day when Zions was a major sponsor, and he was like, I can't get rid of the product. He's like, I'd have rooms in my house with so much stuff that it was just, I couldn't get rid of it. It was too much.
Fucking crazy.
Yeah. And now, like, it's kind of, since UFC kind of came in and it was Reebok, now it's Venom. Whatever. It's kind of different, and we do the same. Like, shout out to Matsuru. We have all new fighter kits that everybody gets when they fight with us too. But it's they can still have sponsors, and So I think it's like anything, man. If you want it, it's like us running a business. If you want it, you got to go get it.
Yeah, 100%. It's there for the taking. You just got to put in the work.
Exactly. Like if you keep going back to this shop every day and say, I want a sponsorship every day.
Yeah.
Right, and you're wearing all your product. If you come here for 2 months straight and say, I want to be a sponsor, or I want to be sponsored, and I'm buying your product, like you're almost going to force something.
Oh yeah,
into
yeah,
sponsoring.
Yeah, 110%, man.
So it's a give or take, man, in life and in business, and fight game's no different, right? So shout out to all our fighters and sponsors who do support us, man, and our fans who continue to push through and help
that's
us
awesome,
get through.
man.
And hopefully get your tickets. It's going to be a great event, April 30th, and back on June 11th in Sackville. And
you know how like the UFC, like there's some like the entertainers and stuff like that, and get like the pre-fight like weigh-ins and stuff like that. Like, would you guys ever do that? Like, is there anybody that's like real wild that would?
We would do that.
Yeah,
for sure.
that would
like
be
have
awesome,
the big stage
man.
kind of
yeah,
thing.
and like it just like kind of set up the fight of like two guys that really maybe don't like each other or whatever. Yeah,
that's the big thing. Like, to be completely honest, I struggle with that.
Yeah,
the whole not like, and that's my downfall because I want everyone to get along. But
I'm bad like that too, man. I like everybody. I want to get along with everybody.
Yeah, because it's the drama that you have to deal with. But on the other side, it's that healthy competition. But where I don't like, I like that animosity, but I don't like what you see with like Conor and Habib and like talking about people's families.
I think that's a little too much.
Like Colby and Masvidal shit. Like, like to me, like if you think for 1 second that wasn't gonna happen, like you can't talk about people's kids and stuff.
100%.
I don't like that kind of shit. So I'm okay with promoting a fight, and again, we're not the boss. You can say whatever you want. You know, like it's your own platform. But to me, it's just like be respectful, be a good leader, And we're not at that level either, where it's like, you know, like, but we might be. Like, that's a big thing about our business is we're growing slow. We refuse to, like, go to the bank. We refuse to, you know, put ourselves under. A lot of promotions do that. They'll go and sign big fights, and they'll get this big promotion, and then they'll do one event, and that'll be it because they lost their shirt. So we're just growing slow, man. Like, coming out of this pandemic real nice and slow and trying to do things, keep it in budget. No, not, like, don't live beyond your means, and we're just doing the same thing. Just trying to get big. So hopefully we'll get to that point.
Awesome, man. If you ever need an MC, I'd love to do it. I'd love it.
Man, that's good. We got a lot of people looking for that job.
I bet you do.
Man, it's crazy. We get a lot of, like, I bet we've had 5 in the last 2 months.
Oh, seriously?
Asking for us,
Oh, that would be cool as hell, though, man.
Involved somehow.
Awesome, man. Anytime. I'm just starting to really like speaking and stuff like that. Going in front of you be cool.
Yeah, it's good, man. It's fun once you get into. That's what I found about the podcast when we started. We do it a little bit different. I like the setup you have.
That's good because your guys is you do like Zoom and stuff like that.
It's a program called StreamYard.
Okay,
So it's like just a live stream, and I can kind of operate the green room and just pull people in and put them out at the same time. But it's the thing is not always it's great quality on their end or You know,
I've tried to do a couple, and that's like there was one that just didn't work at all because he was like froze 90%. He just kept freezing. I was like, you know what? We'll just wait till you can come to town and do this, man.
And that's the thing. Like sometimes, so that's what live, right? Live kind of messes it up. But I like this way about it too. But like for me, because I'm the one doing it. Then on the other end, I got to edit it.
Oh, so well, like, fuck, that's like I got these guys over in India that like will piece this together. Like I used to do it all, but it's just like the time consuming of just like synchronizing the voice and the camera switches was just like tedious 4 or 5 hours a time. So I get like some guys to do that, and then I'll do the rest of it when they send it over. But it works. It's working perfect right now.
That's exactly it, man. It takes time to find those people. Like we just found out. If you're interested, well, you guys are doing great videos too, man. Really, that's the thing.
Thanks, man.
I'm old, right? So all you young guys, man, you guys get the social media. You guys, you guys are on top of this stuff, and like that's what we kind of always struggled with in our businesses, like translating from like a commercial like fight company to like younger.
Like
that younger clientele.
It's almost like we almost turned our social media into like a media thing. Like, because like even I know posting pictures of products just died. Like Christmas, it was I'd be able to post a pair of shoes, and you'd do like 100 some likes. I can post a product now, 20, 30 likes. I can post a reel or video or something, 200 or 300 every fucking time.
Isn't that crazy, eh? Like they just want they want to. It's funny, like not so much about the product. They want to see what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
With the product. It's interesting, right? But I think it's cool, and I think you guys are doing a great job. It's only going to get better, man. Like, but that's what people want to see, and that's like with our brand, we're trying to. Because like our brand, like it's all not like it's like 18 to 55 is like the same market as yours. You know? So
exactly.
It's like that male dominated 18 to 55, and I think 85% of our followers are in that range that are male, and the rest are female in that range, and it's all North America based too. So you have to cater to that younger market because those are the future fans that we want. Right?
Exactly.
So we get lots of those messages, people wanting to fight. So. I'm 14, man. I want to fight.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like,
yeah, you got some years ahead of you yet.
I wasn't even putting my hands on like a girl's back at 14 in a dance, and here you are wanting to travel a different province to fight somebody.
Ready to throw some hands, yeah.
What is going on here?
That's awesome, man.
Brazen, man. Brazen.
yeah.
You know?
Well, no, man. Thank you very much for coming on, though, man. I really appreciate your time, and you guys are doing awesome stuff. And go buy them last tickets for anybody who watch this. And, gotta wrap it up, man.
Awesome, man. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Thanks for coming in, guys. And everybody, thanks for watching. Enjoy.
Thanks.